So let me ask you a question. Are you invested in the stock market? Well, some of us more than others. Some of us even write articles about it, but that's a different conversation. Now, if so, if you're invested in the stock market, you likely have an app, and maybe you check it quite often. Is that correct? Does it check? Okay. Daily? Multiple times a day? So you heard a no, but many people made this motion, right? And why? Why do we do that? The reason is because when we hold on to something valuable, we instinctively guard it. Check it often so we make sure it's safe. We can't bear to lose it. This idea, this kind of vigilance, is at the heart of a Talmudic discussion in Baba Metzia. A discussion that is, Baba Metzia is the book that we are studying in the Mishnah with several friends here at Shir Hadash on Tuesdays. And it means the middle gate. And this discussion about Yeush, despair, is at the heart of the book. And the Mishnah is discussing, the Talmud is discussing, the despair that sets in when someone loses an item. The Talmud captures this debate. Rabbi Abaya says it's not considered despair if the owner is unaware of the loss. Without that awareness, the connection remains intact. Rava, a different Rava in the Talmud, says it's considered despair because the owner, upon realizing the loss, will inevitably give up hope of recovery. The Talmud explains that for something with a distinguishing mark, a siman, despair is not valid. The owner retains hope, saying, I'll provide the mark and reclaim what's mine. So whoever is holding onto my valuable will be able to recognize me and return it to me. The Talmud highlights our human tendency to guard what's precious to us when we know its worth. We hold onto it tightly. The Talmud says that you check your pocket when you're holding very valuable coins every hour. You reach your pocket to see that you have the coins. But this kind of vigilance is not about, or not only about, objects. It's a spiritual and emotional truth. When something or someone is deeply meaningful, we refuse to let go. In Parashat Shemot, this Torah portion, God embodies this kind of vigilance. The Torah begins, these are the names of the children of Israel who came to Egypt. Why mention their names again? Didn't we already read about them toward the end of the book of Genesis? Yes, we did, if you're wondering. Rashi, the medieval commentator, answers to this important question by saying something very simple. God counts and recounts the children of Israel like reaching to his pocket or to her pocket because they are beloved to her. She is constantly checking on us. Like someone who can't stop checking on their treasure. God watches over us, refusing to give up. God's vigilance reminds us that Yeush, despair, is not an option when it comes to something that we hold most dear. And so, as we reflect in this week's Torah portion, we think of our brothers and sisters that are held captive in Gaza. Their names tell stories. Each person is a world. And while the passage of time may numb the urgency, we cannot afford to fall into despair or to give up hope. We enter this Shabbat with news of a hostage deal that will release 33 captives. Yet the reality remains that right now, 98 hostages are still held in Gaza, and 65 will not return home with this agreement. Each of their names matters. Each one is a treasure. Each one of them has marks and signs that make them unique. When we recognize the numbing effects of the passage of time, we once again remind ourselves that we cannot give up. We too must hold onto this divine vigilance. Ele Shemot. These are the names. So tonight we will read the names of our brothers and sisters held in captivity, and we will remind ourselves and the world that they are not forgotten. Please rise. Shiri Vivas, Emily Damari, Romy Gonen, Doron Steinbrecher, Arvel Yehud, Ariel Vivas, Fir Vivas, Lili Albag, Karina Ariev, Agam Berger, Daniela Gilboa, Nama Levi, Oad Benami, Yitzhak Elgarat, Yair Horn, Tzachi Dan, Ofer Calderon, Oded Lifshitz, Shlomo Mansur, Gadi Moses, Eli Sharabi, Keith Siegel, Oad Yahlomi, Isham El Sayar, Yarden Vivas, Elia Cohen, Sagi Dekelchen, Or Levi, Avera Mangisto, Omer Shentov, Tal Shoham, Sasha Trufanov, Omer Wenkert, Idan Alexander, Matan Angrest, Rom Braslavsky, Nimrod Cohen, and Tamir Nimrodi, Gali Berman, Siv Berman, Elkana Buchbut, Yosef Chaim Ohana, Ariel Cunio, David Cunio, Eviatar David, Guy Gilboa Dalal, Maxim Herking, Eitan Horn, Bipin Joshi, Segev Kalfon, Bar Cooperstein, Omri Miran, Eitan Mor, Alon Oel, Avinatan Or, Matan Sangauker, Surasak Lamnau, Pingsa Natapong, Banawat Seadao, Satyan Sawankam, Sririang Wachara, Pongsak Tana. The words of Fatikva Our hope is not yet lost. Those exact words. Those words that meant to prevent us from losing something, someone forever. Echo this sacred moment, reminding us that even in despair, hope endures. They transcend history, becoming a living commitment. They are not avedot, lost items, because as long as we refuse to despair, they remain connected to us through hope. And so we hope. We wear pins and bracelets, shed tears alongside, shed their tears alongside ours, and raise our voices. And in doing so, we mirror God's vigilance, reminding ourselves and the world that they are too precious to forget. May we be inspired by God's unyielding care in this week's Parashat. May we hold on to hope with every fiber of our being, so we can soon see the day when all captives are returned home safely, and numbness is replaced with the awakening of joy and renewal. נפש יהודי הופיע ורפת אל מזרח קדימה עין לציון צופיה עולם תקוותנו התקווה בת שנות 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון ירושלים להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון ירושלים. As long as in the heart within a Jewish soul still yearns and onward towards the end of the east, and eye gazes toward Zion, our hope is not yet lost. The hope of 2,000 years to be a free nation in our land, the land of Zion and Jerusalem. Shabbat Shalom.